Badger fans excited about this one. We got one of the key pieces in that portal offseason for the Wisconsin Badgers basketball team. What is Camren Hunter's game like? How does it fit into Wisconsin? And what are his goals for this season? Locked on Badgers. Let's go.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is going on, Badger fans? Welcome to Locked On Badgers, your team every single day. Thank you so much for tuning in, as always, helping us build this community up. I'm Ryan Harings, your host. This is part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Listen, summer's here, basketball is coming up, but during the summer, FanDuel's still hooking you up every single day. Booster bonus daily for everybody who's using this. Please do it responsibly, but something for everyone all summer long over at FanDuel.com to get going. And with the great guest, man, I say it all the time, we don't waste time when we get the great guests on. We got Camren Hunter joining the show, coming over to the Badgers basketball program this offseason. Camren, first of all, thank you for jumping on. I want to, for those who don't know, give us kind of a self-scout on your game. What is your game like?
I'm like a bull in a china shop. I love getting downhill, putting pressure on the rim. That's the main reason why Coach Gard found me attractive in the portal. I've been since I've been hurt, I've worked on my shooting a lot. So, he's been harping on, rim and, 3-point shots, but analytically it's the most, the high percentage shots. And so it's pretty much how I am. I could work in the mid-range for sure in the post. That's easy buckets in the post for me. But so far as defensively, man, I like to lock up. I do. I consider myself as a two-way guard. I create for others a lot, and I take pride in being a pass-first point guard.
Let me ask you this: a lot of people try to put labels on players, right? Point guard, combo guard, two-way guy. What would you call yourself? Are you a combo guard, point guard, shooting guard?
I say I'm a combo because in practice, I've been off ball sometimes and had to score a lot more, with certain groups and things like that. But then put me with Klez and JV and sometimes, and now I'm more in that point guard situation, and I can do both really well. So I live myself as a point guard. Combo guard for sure.
Yeah, and Camren Hunter coming over from Central Arkansas last year, or 2 years ago as a sophomore, averaged 16.9 per game, 5 boards, 3.9 assists, 78% from the line. I want to continue talking about the offensive game a little bit. You mentioned the post. When I watch film, physically, you have a Big Ten body. Is that something traditionally Badger guards have posted up a lot? Is that something that you and Coach Gard have talked about?
A lot. He's really on me in practice about it. He calls it he's like, man, it doesn't matter, who it is, whether it's Steve or Killa or Klez or anybody. He's like, man, but your body, you need to get down there and, flip your hips and post as much as you can. I'm trying to get comfortable in the offense. The guys who are returning have had a year head start on some of us transfers, and so it's just July. Just August now. So by the time September, October hit, things should be rolling. But as I can say, man, Coach Gard has been really harping on me to put pressure on the rim and post up a lot for sure.
Well, and part of your game, the free throw line, you're almost at 80%. So getting to the rim, putting pressure on it, and then being able to shoot it at an 80% clip, those two go hand in hand. I want to ask you, physically, again, you're a bigger bodied guard. It seems like watching film, you like the contact. You get shoulders into people. You like the post play. A lot of basketball players are more finesse. You describe yourself as a bull in a china shop. Where does that physicality come from for you?
I kind of developed it my sophomore year in high school. I took on a role to be the glue guy. I was one of the younger guys. I gave up the point guard role and was more the glue guy, filling the gaps, things like that. And so Jalen Williams, who's on the Thunder now, he was in our conference and ended up playing him in the state championship, played him 4 times a year. And I was banging with him all the time, fronting him in the post and things like that. And just happened. That's kind of where I got my rebounding ability from as well. It's just kind of the art of it and things like that. And so over time, going into my junior year and senior year of high school, I just started using my body and my size against defenders. I want you to bump me because then I'm just play off you. However you bump me, I'm just redirect myself and get to where I want to go. I know most of the time I can get downhill if I want to, but in some situations like Big Ten, you're gonna have really great defensive teams, and so and there's times where I might have to pick my spots a little better and things like that. But that's the thing Coach Gard helping me with right now. But outside of that, man, it's been developed since I was in high school, really.
Did you frustrate Jalen? He was like, what is this little physical guard down here? Get off of me.
Yeah, I mean, I did a little bit, but then at the same time, he is 6'10" and he is an NBA player. So I mean, he shot. I mean, he shot right over us, and then him being committed to Arkansas and at home state, he kind of had the advantage on us. Ended up losing the game by 2 points, and I'm pretty sure he had like 48 or 43. But that's another story. It's another story for another day.
That's an awesome story, though. Talk to me a little bit about, you mentioned playing catch up a little bit, not just you, the transfer group with the people who have been here for a year or two in the system. What are some of the biggest adjustments that you've had to come in and maybe not rewire your basketball brain a little bit, but adjust to the Wisconsin way?
Coach Gard has really, harped on playing faster. He knows I came from a school that played really fast. We was like top 20 in the country at pace, but it wasn't efficient. So it's more the efficiency side that I'm adjusting to. Some of the shot selection, some of like when to advance it and when to push it up by the dribble and things like that. And he knows I want to play fast because most of the time I am doing that. But he's just so far as helping me with the efficiency and then like the terminology they use in certain aspects of the game, especially offensively. Then defensively, my old school is not really like the best on the defensive side. So I'm like getting used to having better defenders out there with me. Like if I get beat sometimes, it's okay. Like let me fill the gap, let me sink somewhere else, something like that. Like that's one thing Class has helped me out a lot. He was like, man, like we're all gonna get eventually, man. Like it happens in the game. Like just know on this team we have better defenders. You have guys who want to win, who's going to like we have a bunch of dogs on the court. You could tell. So I mean, that's about like the main thing right now. It's just the efficiencies and then like the little terminology they do and how we cut or when to cut or when put pressure on the rim or when to, swing it multiple ball reverses, things like that. And just about the main thing.
Yeah, I love that you brought up transition. There's some really, really great clips of you in transition, going back to Central Arkansas, pulling up, shooting in transition or getting to the rim. As a guard that averaged 5 boards per game, I think that gives you the ability to grab and go. And I think that is a unique part of your game. Do you see yourself as that type of guard who can just kind of do a little bit of everything, get the ball off the glass and just lead the break right away?
Yes, sir, I do for sure. I mean, they have me on the back, working on like defensive schemes, working on zone and things like that. I'm considered the bulldog on the 1-3-1. That's the back of guys. So I mean, I'm hitting guys, boxing out, and going to get the rebound and we're right out on the break. I'm advancing it really fast and starting to break. It's like the offense is going more smoother like that, just because I can rebound the ball. And so Coach Gard really loves that. So he don't have no worry about me being on the back of the 1-3-1. So because of that, he's like, I'm physical. I can rebound. I can jump. So he's really having a blast with that for sure.
So 1-3-1 in practice, is that something you guys are working on for scout or something that you guys are kind of putting in? Maybe
we're just kind of like just looking at it right now. We're looking at everything, just different groups, different lineups, different everything. I mean, you got a whole new, you lost pretty significant guys to the portal. Then you bring in new guys, and then you also like it's just like you got to kind of adjust and adapt really fast and things like that. And so we're just trying. Coach Gard is really particular, but he's like, I want this certain group with doing this and this like that, and he's on it for sure. Like he's making it known that he wants to win this year for sure.
Let's talk defense a little bit. I think one of the interesting things with this year's team, man, you're a bigger body guard. We've talked about it. Amos can guard a couple spots. I think Tanjay can guard a couple different spots. It feels like there's defense versatility. What are you comfortable guarding? 1-3, even some physicality matchups with maybe not bruiser 4s. Where are you comfortable defensively?
1-3, I'm for sure comfortable with. You have some 4s that are like on the skinnier side, so I know I have advantage with my physicality. I got switched on to Steve the other day in practice, and I held my own for sure. And he kind of let me know. He was like, "Man, I forgot how strong he was," but I mean, at the end of the day, it's just the height thing in Big Ten and 4-5. So like even if I do hold my own, they can still shoot over me. So that's probably like my only concern. But I would say 1-3 for sure that I'm most comfortable with.
And then I want to talk about, I know last year you had an injury. Where are you at physically kind of coming off that injury?
When I first got here, I was adjusting to the way Coach Nyes did in the weight room and things like that. So Xavier and I started early. We came up a week and a half early, started early, and got rolling. So when everybody else got here, it was kind of like we're just getting adapted. Like we're already adapted and we're just rolling, like getting things like going smooth. I've been 100% since before I got here, but I mean, just so far as like the details of how things are done here, like so far as weight room and court things, I mean, that's been my biggest adjustment. So I mean, my injury really haven't affected me at all. I mean, if it did, I'm pretty sure it would have got out by now, but it hasn't at all.
Let me ask you, because I know you're a competitive dude. What was it like sitting out a year with an injury?
It was very frustrating. I mean, it was the most frustrating thing because most people don't know, like, we were going to be a really good team. Like, with me, I mean, of course, the team was like built around me, but at the same time, like, we had a really good freshman in Tucker Anderson who could really shoot the ball. Had grad transfer, Daniel Freitag could shoot it, Masao carry. Like, we had a bunch of guys that could really shoot it, and then we had an older team too at the same time. But when I went down, it kind of was like, it really did suck the life out of the team, and it kind of like put everything on hold, and they were trying to adapt, and never really could. But I mean, it was real frustrating because there was some games that we lost by 2 or 3. Like, we lost to Vandy by 4 or 5 or something like that, and they lost by Oklahoma by 18, but they were up like going to like the second half for a little bit. Man, like, it's frustrating knowing that I could help a lot while being out there, but at the same time, I just had to do what I had to do. So I just took on a leadership role so far as a vocal. Get the guys in the gym, work on scout with them, and then when I came back, I joined the scout team and did what I could for them, fresh off the injury.
I mean, certainly you never want to miss time, but do you think in a way, as it maybe helped you a little bit from a mental side, being a little more prepared, seeing practice from the side?
It did for sure. I mean, I had a lot of time to watch film and then just watch just how everything was done from like just being on the sideline. 'Cause typically you're in the moment, but me being on the sideline, being able to help guys like from that aspect really helped my IQ a little bit, a lot more for sure. I can say that. And so, I mean, it was tough so far as competitive side, but it was really good for my mental aspect, as I can say that. Because I mean, took a year off. You don't in this college aspect, like you've been doing it since you were young. So that whole year off, it was kind of like I focused on school, focused on like the things I needed to do so far as like my game. Like I knew where it was concerns. So I mean, she got a tons and tons of shots. Like kind of like quicker my release a little bit, and Coach Gard still working on that as well. So I mean, it's been putting in a lot of work with that as well.
What it's interesting to me. Like obviously, again, you missed last year. Have you talked to Greg Gard about? Listen, I haven't played basketball in a calendar year. I need the first shot. I need to get something up quick. Like I need to get some shots up. I got to make up time.
He's like, he knows I'm a gym rat. I'm a gym rat for sure. So he knows that. So he's not really concerned about that. He's more concerned about my confidence being a year off and then transferring to to this level. So that's probably his biggest concern. But he harps every day. He's like, man, if we didn't think you could play here, we wouldn't have gotten you. Like even if you was a year off, like we understand if you would have played, you might not have been available at the time that you did, like that you were. And so it was just like I was kind of patient at the whole process because I mean, my coach got fired and things like that, and Coach Gard just made it known, man, like feel like you could play here and things like that. But he was like, first week here, he was like, your confidence is gonna be the biggest thing. He was like, you're not gonna be the fastest or the strongest no more. Like you're gonna have to really increase your skill set. So I mean, it's pretty much what I've been doing so far.
Does it feel like you have a bit of a chip on your shoulder, coming from kind of where you were and then missing a year? Do you play with that?
And I always carry a chip on my shoulder. I mean, I've always been overlooked in a way. Like people have always doubted me. Like if let's say you were back home from like if you came back to where I'm from, man, you would hear people say, I didn't think he would get this far. I didn't think he would be that good, or I didn't think he even had that in him. And so this is like I'm just a workaholic, man. Like I just when people are doing something that they shouldn't be doing, I go to the gym. Like I'm doing something that I need to be doing. Like I know because like since like the Jalen Williams situation, that's when I first learned how to outwork somebody. Like that's what really kind of taught me. It was like you gotta get in where you fit in. But I wasn't taller than Jalen Williams. I wasn't stronger than him, but I knew that I was quicker than him. I know I had to be faster. Like I had to be a little bit smarter than him and things like that. And so playing with guys like KK Robinson, who was at Arkansas, and things like that, I think just being around a group of guys like Moses Moody and all those guys back from back home really showed me, man, like you got to work harder than everybody else. That's kind of when I figured it out. Like you always got to do to go to extra length. So ever since then, since I first touched college campus my freshman year, I worked everybody, did the extra things, went the extra mile, and they was looking at me like I was crazy. We practice like 6 a.m. I'm in there at 4:30 getting shots up before practice, and I'm gonna come after, and then I'm gonna come back later. Like it's probably unhealthy. It was, but it worked. It worked out. Like I'm glad it worked out because I mean, sacrifice a lot for sure. So
Man, that's a great quote right there. Like Badger fans are going to be excited to hear that, man. Let me ask you about this jump shot because again, shooting 78% last time. It said Central Arkansas your sophomore year from the line, but 31% from three. Where do you think you have grown as that kind of perimeter shooter? Because you do have the ability to get into paint. If you compare that with the perimeter shooting, you're going to be a nightmare for Big Ten defenses.
I mean, at Central Arkansas, I had to take a lot of bad shots. I had to. I mean, the spacing of the offense and all that was terrible. So I mean, I could shoot it like spot up. I'm at least knocked down. I'm well over 40. And something Coach Penny has been on me about was changing. I'm a hopper on my shot, so my base becomes inconsistent at times. So I'm trying to get down to 1-2. Coach
Hmm.
Gard trying to get the dip out of it a lot, and so it's quick 1-2 catch up and fire. And I, you know, my arm was a little flat on my release, and so now it's a little bit higher and things like that. And so I mean, feel like I'm shooting it well. You could ask like Klez or somebody like that. Like when I first came in, like first two practices, my confidence wasn't there. Then I had a practice where I shot the ball really well. Then open gym, they transferred to open gym when we scrimmage, like just the players. And then now in practice, I'm just letting it go. Like it's like second brainer. So I mean, I agree. Like whenever I get the confidence, for sure. Like when after the first game that I know I belong on this level, pairing that with the getting downhill and the shooting ability that I've been working on should be a nightmare for sure.
Who's your roommate? Is it Freitag?
Freitag and Jack Robinson. I just moved out to my place for the fall though, so I mean, because we have next week, we ran bleachers today, and so I moved out last night. And Freitag's like my little brother. That's like my little brother, man. He's an energy guy for sure. He wakes up early yelling, like I hear him. He's playing some type of TikTok sound 8 a.m. in the morning. That's him, but I love him, man. I love him. I love Jack Robinson too. Like they're polar opposites, but they're a good opposite, you know. So yeah.
Who's 3-point shooting contest between the three of you? Who wins most of those?
I beat Freitag twice yesterday.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, but the time before that, he beat me by one. I think I beat him. Me and him always show out to practice. I beat him twice. He was like, "Let's play for lunch," and then I beat him. I was like, "I don't want the lunch. I just wanted to say I could beat you." Then I think he was like double back, so we went back around. I did the same thing. So yeah.
He's an energy guy. I like him. He's been on the show a couple times. Really good dude. He did tell me that you were looking really good shooting the ball. So he's passing along the good intel there. Let me ask you this. I want to get into a little bit of the recruitment. I can't keep you forever. I could talk ball with you for hours, I think, but I want to jump into the portal decision. What was it like to enter the portal, and what was that first contact with Wisconsin like?
Well, I had entered the portal the previous year, but it was all solely off the fact that I wasn't sure my coaching staff was going to return to Central Arkansas. But also, it was like I was just testing it out and see like if it was meant for me to go to higher level. So my coaches knew that, and I also had some personal stuff come back up at the first time I hit around. So when I hit around the second time, a lot of schools were on me. Then it just was like what happened the last time. And I wouldn't tell them because the personal stuff really was the main reason why. And they just like turned a lot of schools off. But I was on my flight. I was getting on the flight to go to St. Louis. Coach Reed FaceTimes me, like random number. I don't know who it is. I'm just like, so I pick it up. I turn my FaceTime camera off. So I turn it off because I didn't know who it was. And then he was like, "Young fella." So I turned it on, and he was like, "It's Coach Chambliss at University of Wisconsin," and it's him and Coach Crab in the background. They're like, "Don't commit. Like, at least just get out here and see it and see how you like it and things like that." And so, I mean, once I got out here, it just felt like home away from home. I mean, Coach Reef, him and I connected on a personal level. So did I with Coach Snides and things like that. With our biological father's passing away, and then my stepdad came with me. His biological father had passed away too, so it was just like a big, just connection right away. It hit right away, and then Klez came in and he was like, "Man, like we need you." He was harping on me, and then John Blackwell was actually the one who really convinced me to come here because he was just like, I lived to visit. And he was like, "I know you like looking at other schools like Virginia, all those schools." He was like, "Man, like we blew Virginia out the water." He's like, "Bro, like go watch the film." And he just every day he was on me. And then I was finally like, "Okay, bro, like I'm gonna come." And then the rest is history for sure.
Well, that was kind of the start of the dominoes, right? First person in that portal, and then followed by Tanjay, Amos. Talk to me about the three of you guys. What do you like about the games from John Tanjay and Xavier Amos?
Tanji is like sneaky athletic. Oh my god, like it's kind of crazy because he had a really great practice Tuesday. It was like going up and down. I think he went probably had like 15, and like the little time we was going, he was really like he found his confidence and like he really got going and things like that. Cause he had his foot injury as well, so it really clicked for him. And then Xavier, he's a mismatch problem at the 4. I don't think he shoot it so deep so well, and he's so athletic. He's like a rim runner, and he put it on the floor as well. And then his versatility on both ends is really gonna be really good for us. And then off the court, we all have really bonding because we're the new guys coming in, and so X and I, Xavier, we were probably closest between us three. Tanji's like the older guy, so he's kind of like handle what he do, crack a few jokes here and there, and then go lay down. He's kind of older.
Lay down.
Yeah, he goes to lay down.
What?
Like today at the bleachers, man, we walked back down to like the football area. He's the first one to lay down on the carpet. He's like, man, I'm so old. I'm too old for this. But I mean, Xavier and I, like, we pretty much walk with each other everywhere at cars, campus, and things like that. We pretty much do everything together. So I mean, we're all three of us are close, but I mean, we're going to be really good. Like, we're going to be fine. I believe that for sure.
All right, a couple quick questions here. Again, I don't want to keep you too long. You have to pick a 3-on-3 team from this Badger squad for the Olympics. Who are you picking?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
I've only been here for like a month and a half, so I really can't like.
You can pick yourself.
I'm gonna do one without myself and one with myself. Without myself, I'm going Big Steve. You gotta have Big Steve. His versatility and his passing, his IQ is crazy. Wow. I don't know. Like everybody brings something different to the table.
It's a tough one. This is not an easy question, and I didn't prep you for this, so I put you on the spot.
Give me Steve, Klez, and Xavier for sure. They had a 3v3 team. Like, we was going like up and down in practice doing 3v3. It was so like effortless for them. Like they just blended so well together. So them three for sure. And then with me and Steve, I gotta keep Steve. I'm probably gonna go Klez. Me and Klez been playing a lot together on the same team in practice, so I'll probably go as 3 for sure.
That's a lot of shooting there. That works. This is from Badger Plays. Best dunker on the team.
Freitag.
Really? Okay. Who's number 2?
Tanjay, and then Xavier's behind him. Yeah, Freitag is crazy athletic to be that young. Like, I've never seen nothing like that. He reminds me of like he has like John Morant bounce, but he's just like he doesn't have no control over it. Like, he's just rim running. Like, it's just crazy to see. Like, he was dunking out there. We had like a heavy squat day on yesterday, and he East Bay's like right between his legs, right after practice. I'm like, bro, we just shot for like an hour, and now you're like just doing this. He's like, it's effortless, bro. He's like, it's just natural for him. So yeah, for sure, him.
Must be nice. Next question here from him. Same question, same guy said, what's the most competitive matchup? Like, when you see one-on-ones, people guarding each other, what are some of the most competitive matchups you see at practice?
Klez and JB, me and Killer Cam, me and Freitag as well, because he has a chip on his shoulder coming in. Nolan and Steve really, really beat on each other. And then pretty much X with anybody that's at the 4. Like, he's going to be in them as well. So, I mean, all his guards really go at each other really hard. And then you have some wings and the 2 bigs, Nolan and Steve. Nolan's trying to, hold his own against Steve, and Steve's just letting him know, I'm going to kill you every time. But then Nolan comes back and does something himself. So it's kind of like, yeah, I'm loving it. We had an incident a week and a half ago, where I had we had a Christian group or a church group in, and it was getting a little out of hand. That's how competitive it's been. And then we had Coach Ryan come in like Tuesday, and he was like, man, this is the most competitive I've seen this in a while, for sure.
I love that, man. Couple more quick questions here. Would you rather have the game-winning steal, block, or shot? That's from Roll Bucky.
Shot.
Yeah, good man.
Shot, yeah. Shot.
I feel like that's just being honest. People the question be like, oh, I'd rather have a steal. But deep down, everyone wants the game-winning shot.
Yeah, it's a game-winning shot. It's a game-winning shot.
Is there a team in the Big Ten you're most looking forward to playing?
Indiana. I'm really good. Yeah, he hit the portal hard. He got some guards, and he got Omar Balu. I've never seen Omar Balu play in person. I'm looking forward to that game. I'm really looking forward to the Indiana game for sure.
How about this one? Have you bought a windshirt jacket yet?
I have not.
Okay, that's coming.
Yeah, but like we'd be like outside for weights. They'd be like, it's hot. I'm like, it's not hot really, man. Like, I don't know what hot is yet. And so they're like, you don't know what a winter is. So it's kind of like, we'll see. I'll buy one in September sometime.
Yeah, it's good timing. You want to get it before October. I'll tell you that. From Dante, anybody on the team that surprised you? Like, you got in and you're like, oh, I didn't know that dude had game like that.
John Blackwell.
What's the best part of his game?
his ability to get to the spots in the mid range that he wants to, and then his pace of play, like it's really pro level. So a lot of people don't know he's a pro. He's a walking pro for sure.
Yeah, I've
For
said
sure.
that. Like that
He's
dude is so
walking pro.
smooth.
Yeah,
Right? He's so smooth. He's kind of like got some DeRozan type stuff in his game where he's just smooth.
he just I rim stuffed him the other day. He thought he was gonna dunk on me. So he's been telling me like Monday we like team practice. So he's just like, bro, I'm finna drop 30 on you. That's like telling me ever since then.
I want to finish up here because, again, I try to keep these about 30 minutes, 25 minutes because I don't want to keep you for too long. I know you guys are busy. What does it feel like when someone says Camren Hunter, Wisconsin Badgers guard?
It doesn't feel real because, I mean, man, coming from Brown, Arkansas, especially in Brown High School, haven't been that many guys to get this far. I think I was the first Division I basketball player in our program outside of K.A. Robinson, but he left his senior year to go to Oak Hill. So, I mean, guards from like before me, Calvin Allen, all them, like got overlooked. It's like natural. We always get overlooked at from where I'm from, and so being here in like Wisconsin, like Madison, Wisconsin, like you told me that when I was like 15 or 16, I would have laughed at you. Like I didn't even believe that I would get this far, but I just worked. I just put my head down and worked, and so like it's honestly like Coach Gard is like he's gonna bring some people in, like let you know like the history of it and things like that. I know a little bit of the history, but not as deep as Coach Gard harps on it. Like this is a winning program, and that's like it's historical for it, and so like just hearing it over and over again is kind of like surreal to me because I'm just like, man, like I'm up here now. I got to handle business. We got to go win one for sure. So
let's do it. Last question here, man. And once again, I really appreciate the time. I think Badger fans are going to walk away with this incredibly impressed. Do you have a message for Badger fans? Like, what kind of player are they getting? Player in person are they getting with Camren Hunter?
A competitor, will to win for sure. Like I do what I need to do to help us win. I mean, I'm not tripping on all that other stuff that other people will be tripping on. Like you're gonna have bad games, gonna have bad shooting games, things like that. It's just you having a bad shooting game. What else can you do to help the team win? That's how I am. Like shooting the ball great. Okay, well, I'm gonna defend my ass off. That's kind of how I am. So kind of where I'm at on this level right now. Just I've had bad shooting days in practice, but nobody can say I don't guard. That's for sure. So that's what they're getting, a competitor for sure.
Dude, I love it. He is Camren Hunter. This is Locked On Badgers. This has been an awesome, awesome interview. Really do appreciate the time, man. And yeah, we'll definitely be cheering along as always. On
Yes, sir.
Wisconsin.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely, man. We'll talk later.
Yes, sir.